Good morning, guys. KDOT357 coming to you here. Today is Monday, the 26th of November. So this month is almost gone. I want to talk to you just a little bit about the knife rule, or the 21-foot rule, as some people refer to it as. And you may say, well, what in the world are you talking about? Because it must not be good. That's right, if you're not prepared. The knife rule, the 21-foot rule, and I usually talk about this in all my concealed carry classes, is basically what that says is from 21 feet or 7 yards away, the average person can be all over the top of you, stabbing you with a knife in just under a second and a half, okay? We've done these tests at the police department, and I was pretty humbled by it. And I can get my gun out pretty darn quick. But it is amazing how quick that individual can be all over the top of you, basically from 21 feet away, and they launch out at you in a dead run with a knife. Of course, you know, we use rubber knives and blue guns and things like that for training. How quickly they can be all over the top of you. And I don't know about you, but I think I'd rather get shot before I get cut up. But that's me. So what does that tell you? That tells you how important training is, right? In the law enforcement course of fire, from the 3-yard line, when I call the course of fire, it's you will draw and fire 2 rounds in 2 seconds with one hand only. I mean, from 3 yards away, 9 feet, you don't have time to draw the firearm and get that master grip and then punch out and acquire a sight picture. You don't do it. You come out with one hand, you punch out with one hand, and you basically index shoot. Pretty much wherever my index finger is pointing at that center mass, the rounds are going to strike there. It's just all, the survival there is just all about plain and simple getting the darn gun out quick enough and getting rounds on target, of course. You know, we don't want to spray and pray and hope that our rounds hit. We want to get them on target. Most bad things happen between 3 and 5 yards away. When you come to my concealed carry class, I will show you a video. It's an old video, but it's certainly not outdated, but it is an old video, and it talks about the 21-foot rule, the knife rule. And it's really, really good when you watch that video, because then you get a visual. You know, most people are visual learners anyway. And when you watch that video, man, does it really wake you up? And the thing is, you know, when you're talking to people, I mean, most times that's about how far away you are from them anyway. You know, when I worked as a police officer and I had to take notes and I had to interview someone, and sometimes they could have been the suspect, we were darn sure within, 9, 10, 11 feet of each other for sure. All right. Meaning that when they're that close and they pull a knife out, they're going to stab you. I don't care who you are. You're going to get stabbed. Now, you may get a couple of rounds off as you are being stabbed or as you are trying to backpedal, but you're going to get stabbed. And you'll lie if you say that it ain't going to happen. Watch the video. I mean, it's out there on YouTube. Just Google the 21 or YouTube, the 21-foot rule, knife rule. And like I say, it's an older video, and they're using police officers as role models and things like that. Well, as examples, and they are presented with different scenarios where they don't know they know there's a scenario, but they don't know what it is. And all of them fail. All of them fail because it's just too daggum close up, okay? You don't have time to react. Most of you know action is faster than reaction. You just ain't going to have time. So when you're out and about in the wild blue yonder, their situational awareness is paramount. So that if you do determine that there's a potential imminent threat, that you do have time to react, okay? If you're watching, and I'm not saying you walk around paranoid and you're watching your six all the time, but you are aware of your surroundings. If you're leaving a department store at night in a parking lot, you are at least aware of your surroundings. But folks, when you're that close, you know, wife and lots of other people, you know, we refer to our bubble, you know, or our personal space. And ain't but so many people get into that personal space, right? Extreme close friends and loved ones. Usually it's your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever, your mom and dad, brothers and sisters maybe. But things happen really quick from about 9 feet away. They got a rule in the gunfight, and these are averages, of course. That rule in the gunfight says it's the 3 threes of a gunfight, or any kind of lethal encounter, potential lethal encounter, is that it happens about 3 feet away, and that it happens, no, I'm sorry, not 3 feet, 3 yards. let's give us a little bit more slack there. So that's 9 feet. It happens about 3 yards away. It happens in about 3 seconds, and the average rounds expended or fired are about 3 rounds. 3 rounds, 3 seconds, 3 yards. What does that tell you? That it happens up close, and it happens really quick. Okay, so you got to be on your A game. So when I see folks that come to our concealed carry classes, and we teach a bunch of people, we probably teach as much or more than anybody in the state of North Carolina. That should tell you how important training is. If I can't convince you when you watch that video and then tell you the rules of the 3-3 in a gunfight, then Lord help you. I've had so many of my students, and God bless all of you that come to my classes, but that when you're down there on the line at 3-yard line, it's very obvious that you're not comfortable with the firearm. Can you imagine throwing some stress or adrenaline into that? When you are in that situation, you're going to default to your level of training. Obviously, if you don't train, it's anybody's darn guess is what you're going to do. You may freeze. You may turn and run. The bad guy may take your gun from you and shoot you with your own gun. I'm telling you, this stuff happens. So train. I've been in a number of situations over 15 years, and I was glad that I trained. They got another little saying out there is, if you knew you was going to be in a gunfight tomorrow, would you train harder today? Of course you would. Of course you would, you know. But I think we walk around in society thinking, well, that kind of stuff ain't going to happen to me. It happens to those people. I know it happened to those people because it was on the news yesterday, but it probably won't happen to me. And you know what? It probably won't, but it could. It could. It's kind of like church shootings. You know, we do a lot of training now with churches. In fact, I'm doing a church seminar, this coming Thursday from 7 to 10 at Faith Family Ministries in Siler City. That address is 225 Chatham Square. It's in a shopping center. When you pull in, it's right beside a KFC Taco Bell. When you pull in, it's off to the right toward the back area there. And we'll be running that seminar. It's totally free of charge. So I encourage you to come. If you attend a church and that church is thinking about starting a safety security team. So obviously, the moral of this story with the knife rule, the 21-foot rule, is situational awareness. You know, if you even possibly think that somebody's going to be an adversary, you don't stay in that range. You start making some space between you and that person, okay? If you perceive the threat to be imminent. And imminent means what? It means it's about to happen. It can't be postponed, okay? But from three yards away, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Especially if they initiate it, okay? Get on YouTube and look at the video on there. Like I said, just in the YouTube search, just YouTube 21-foot rule, knife rule, and it'll come up. There's one thing you can tell when you start playing it, it's an older video. But it's still very applicable to today, and it always will be. You know, when I did the in-service training for firearms at the end of the year with my guys, many times I would show that video just to remind them how fast things can go south being fairly close up to a bad guy, okay? And it's no different for you as a citizen. It's the same situation. Watch the video. So, so don't forget about that seminar, and don't forget that we're giving away a Ruger LCR. It's still not too late to register. You can come in here and pay $1 or as many tickets as you want for a chance to win that revolver. And also, don't forget that we are a Blue Label Glock dealer. Save first responders a significant amount of money on a Glock. Don't forget also that we partnered with Time Financing. So yes, share this video. You can finance new guns and used guns here at the gun shop. You can finance guns that we would need to order for you. Okay, so that's all new guns, used guns, whether they're here in the shelf or whether we have to order them. Typically, most firearms are financed, that are financed are between $300 and $1,000, most of them. Heck, they'll go all the way up over $3,000 and carry it out for 36 months. And the nice thing about it is you can pay it off early and not have a penalty for a payoff early. You can also pay on the principal as well. But typically, most of them are between $300 and $1,000. So like on an $800 gun, you're talking about, I don't know, $40, $45 a month. It's not that much. We can take your application right here at the computer. And honestly, during the weekdays, you will know something in about 10 minutes. It's just that quick, okay? So don't forget about that. Other than that, I've got to go. It's about 15 till. We are located at 1606 West. Oh, my iWatch must think that I'm talking to it. Anyway, we are open. Man, I just had a brain freeze there. Our address is 1606 Westover Drive, Sanford, NC 27330. Our phone number is area code 919-708-5475. Don't forget our website is CarolinaFirearmstraining.com. We're there. You can go to our online store as well, and you can also sign up for courses. Speaking of that, our concealed carry class is this coming Saturday. We still got seats left, and we also got seats left in our December 15th class. And by today or tomorrow, I will be posting some January dates, even perhaps some February dates. We generally do concealed carry year-round, twice a month, usually the first and third Saturday of every month. All right, so if you go by that, you're going to be pretty darn close, because that's generally how we try to do it. All right, so let me get out of here. Till I'll see you next time. Stay armed, stay safe, and don't forget about that 21-foot rule. Situational awareness. Be safe.